Hello and welcome to this week's Weekly Wind-Up with me, Helen Ashcroft. Now, it's a fact of life as you grow old and less able to cope with life that many of us will need carers to help us with the things that we're no longer able to do ourselves. So that includes things like preparing food, tying shoelaces, even dressing ourselves and personal care. But now we have the older generation of carers, 70, 80 and 90-year-olds actually looking after 70, 80 and 90-year-olds. So today we're going to be talking to Judith Churley. Hello Judith.
Hello.
And Judith's from Calderdale and Kirklees Age UK. So, nice of you to come along today. Tell me, whereabouts are you based? Let's start with that one, when it says Kirklees and Calderdale.
We have offices across the district.
Yeah.
In Huddersfield, we have an office at 12 New Street.
Right.
Which is just down the road from the HSBC Bank.
Okay.
On the corner of New Street.
Yeah.
All in all, we're the largest charity working with and for older people across the UK.
Brilliant.
So my role there is marketing and fundraising.
Yeah.
So I am, out and about talking about the organisation and what we do for older people.
And I'll come back to that when you said about it being an eye-opener, because I'm interested to know what you mean by that. But I have to ask, why are you here today?
Today, I'm here because this week is Carers Week. So we are here to say thank you to all of the carers out there for doing a splendid job and saving this country billions, literally billions of pounds.
And did you say there was something on Friday?
This Friday is Older Carers Day.
Right.
So we're specifically acknowledging all the older carers out there who are looking after children, partners, friends. There's a whole army of unrecognised carers out there. And if they weren't doing the job that they're doing, then somebody would have to pay for the care of that person.
So the carer themselves, they don't get paid?
Vast majority of care is unpaid.
Why are they doing it? Why is there a need for this?
They don't see themselves as carers.
Right.
A lot of older carers particularly are looking after their husbands, wives, partners. Right. So you don't see it as a caring role, you see it as looking after the person who you love and who you shared the majority of your life with. You want to do it.
So how common is this then, for the older person to be caring for the older person?
There are many, upwards of 2 million over 65s who are acting in a caring role.
Right.
And Age UK recently have done a study about carers who are over the age of 80.
Yes.
There's over 400,000 of those.
Right.
Which is rapidly increasing. And they alone are saving, I think, over £5 billion.
Well, it's an awful lot of money.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
What support do they get from yourself? I mean, if they're not being paid, what support is there out there for these carers?
There is support out there if you access it and you know where to look.
Okay.
Like I say, many people do not consider don't think of themselves as a carer.
Right.
So they do not think that they will be eligible for, any support.
Okay.
There are various carers benefits. We can help them see if they qualify and see if they and help them with the application process.
So what other things does Age UK offer?
We also have companionship centres. This is the person who is being cared for can have a lovely day out.
Okay.
But just as importantly, the carer will get some respite.
Right.
So they can have that well-earned break because they might be, caring for that person 24/7.
Right. And I think that's really important to offer that additional support.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Although carers say, yes, it's what I want to do, I'm doing this by choice, often they don't see an alternative. And they get worried and anxious and exhausted with that caring role. So it is at a cost to their, personal health and well-being, really.
So if they don't see themselves as carers, how would they know to access these services?
Well, exactly. So quite often, unless, you know, friends tell them or they've got somebody, family friends in the know, then quite often it's at a crisis point.
Right, so when you say a crisis point, is that because something's happened in the home and other agencies have had to intervene?
Yeah, could be. It could be that the carer falls ill.
Right.
And if they are not kind of accessing any support at that stage, then they can contact Gateway to Care, who will, so the council will put in an emergency care package.
Sorry, what's Gateway to Care?
That is like a first point of call for the local to call the local council. Yeah.
And are they based in Huddersfield?
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yeah.
And that number is actually coming up on the bottom of the screen as we speak.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear.
Rods, reels, lines, hooks,
sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gas gloves, clothes, pocket knife, lunch.
Or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
So obviously you've got footfall, you've got people passing. So what can they expect to see in the window? Is the opening times? Are the helpline numbers? Tell me what they can see.
What most people will notice first when they pass our shop is the mobility scooters.
All right, okay.
Because we offer those for rent at very reasonable, I think it's £3 for 3 hours or something. So again, that might be something that a carer and a cared for person might want to do.
Yeah.
You know, gives them access to the town centre. And we also rent them out for longer periods of time as we do wheelchairs and ramps. So if people are recovering from a fall, say, and they might need that sort of thing temporarily, then we can provide that.
So that's an additional service that, you know, that is available for people.
Absolutely.
So if, just as an example, if somebody was unsure, they're a more mature person, they are a carer, but you know, they're not being paid for it. Could they just come into the shop and just have a chat and just be able to, you know, find out what's available and what you can do to support them?
Very definitely, very definitely. We have information advice workers based there. We've got volunteers who can talk to them. And in fact, our volunteer Isabel has been with us many years and is a carer herself. So she's an excellent person to speak to.
Now, I like that idea, the fact that you've actually got people that have actually been in that situation or are in that situation. Because I should imagine that there's a fair few people that perhaps feel isolated or a bit left.
Very much so. That's another common thing we hear from older carers in general. Your world closes in a little bit around you because you are confined to your home a lot because of your caring responsibilities. So all those social networks that you had, you know, the contacts you used to go out with your friend for a cup of tea, they drop off.
Right.
And so you find yourself isolated, and it can be very lonely, a very lonely role.
So it is a really valuable service that you're actually offering.
Oh, definitely.
But why? Why are we actually in this state?
There's a bit of a triple whammy, really.
Okay.
medicine and medical practices have got better, so people
Yeah.
are living longer. We've got a growing elderly population, and although people are living longer, they're not necessarily living healthily longer.
Right.
So we've got more people living with long-term conditions.
Okay.
So more older people, families are more spread out. So I myself have lived in the States, you know, my sister lived in Mexico for a while. It's the way of the world now, we spread across the globe. And also the recession has left the government or local councils with a lot less money.
Right.
So whereas maybe 10 years ago, Kirklees Council were paying for or giving money to older people who were at risk of isolation and loneliness. Now your care needs have to be substantial or critical for them to pass on any funds to you.
So what you're offering is invaluable, as I've said previously. So just to recap, Age UK in Huddersfield is based where?
12 New Street.
Okay, and opening hours?
10 till 4, Monday to Friday, and then we're open on Saturday 10 till 3.
Brilliant. And
Yeah.
as we've said, there's the number for Gateway to Care.
Gateway to Care,
On this interview.
Yes, absolutely. I also want to mention the other carers organisations I've mentioned briefly. Carers Count provides some absolutely fantastic things for specifically for the carers.
Yes. Are they national or local?
They're local,
Okay.
based in the centre of Huddersfield near the bus station.
Okay.
They have lots of places where carers can get together, and often a trouble shared is a trouble halved.
Absolutely.
They offer pamper days, they do all sorts of, they do meditation and all sorts of wonderful things to support the carers.
Right.
So they're absolutely fantastic. And Carers Trust, also based down Leeds Road, do a marvellous job.
Okay. Well, I appreciate what you've been able to tell us today, and hopefully that you'll get more people coming through the door. And of course, your job is to fundraise.
Yes, indeed.
So hopefully more people will be donating to such a very, very worthy cause.
Fabulous.
So thank you ever so much for coming in today.
It's a pleasure.
Judith.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. If you would like to comment on this story, then please contact us by the usual channels, including Twitter at The Weekly Windup, also on Facebook, and the usual email address. So that's it from me this week. Thank you ever so much to Judith for coming in today. Thank you so much to the people behind the scenes that have put this programme on and made it possible for everybody to watch. Have a fabulous rest of the week. That's bye from me.